Right now, back to Stafford, and Max was there earlier on today talking to Francesco, him of the hairdressers, and telling us about how it all began, really.
Marvellous. Go on. Head high, darling. Gorgeous.
I decided to become a hairdresser, and I thought, I'm going to be as good as my contemporary Violet Sassoon. I want to be as good as him. And I started in the industry, and that was 52 years ago. What was in trend then was very much roller setting. People who go to the salon have their hair set once a week. So our clients in those days came in every week, where now it's totally different. You must remember that this great explosion of the people like Val Sassoon, who suddenly, haircutting suddenly become very popular, which was the excitement bit. And slowly the rollers and the weekly appointments diminished to 6 to 8 week appointments, which we have now. And that was the exciting bit in hairdressing, yes. In those days, apprenticeships were totally different. In those days, apprenticeships you had to pay for. And I went to several salons. One you probably all remember is called Raymond's, Mr. Teasy Weezy. I'm sure always remembers that salon. Well, you know, I had to pay £5,000 to be an apprentice. Do you know, I couldn't afford it. My parents are working people. I couldn't go to them asking for £5,000. So my second option was to go to college. And I went to college. I went to a local college. It was Cannock Chase Mining and Technical College. Very much a mining college in those days. So I went there, and I'm not really an academic type of person. So when I went there, I was quite excited to start creating hairstyles and doing lovely hairstyles. But you know what? My experience there was I spent a lot of time doing theory work. And what I wanted to do is do practical work. That's why I came into hairdressing. And that was a great learning experience for me for the future, because I thought, this is not the way to train, I didn't think. That influenced me then how not to. And training became a key feature in our business. And without training, we don't have anything. I've learned through my experiences, you have to train these people in soft skills as well as hard skills. They all want to be creative people. They want to do practical things. They want hands-on. There's a certain amount of theory. Yes, we have to have that, you know, but it is basically hands-on. Get into the hair as soon as possible. We have 3 academies in Stafford. We have a academy in Birmingham. We have college partnerships up and down the country, which we're responsible for. And we have 30 of those colleges up and down the countries. So we have a great influence in the training in hairdressing, great influence, which I'm very, very proud to be part of.
Stuart and Charlotte. Right now, back to Stafford, and Max was there earlier on talking to the man of hair, Francesco, talking about how he got involved.
When I ask myself what makes me, I think I have to reflect back to when, from my experience as a child. I am an Italian immigrant, and let me take you to the very beginning. My father was a prisoner of war here. He was captured in Tobruk and shipped over to England. And let me tell you, he had a great war, because he told me stories where he worked on the farms around Hildestone, Stone, and around Stafford. And during that time, one of the farmers asked him to come back to England. We followed.
We must now devote all our strength and resources to the completion of our tasks, both at home and abroad. Advance, Britannia! Long live the cause of freedom. God save the King.
I was an Italian immigrant, and my memories of school were quite interesting, because you must remember that pasta hadn't been heard of, pizzas hadn't been heard of. I was at school called garlic breath, because the children used to ask me, what is it you're eating? I said, it's garlic. They never heard of it. It was totally alien to people, especially when brought up in a sort of a local school in Stone, and I was the only Italian there. That was very interesting times. Being an Italian immigrant, that puts a fire in your belly. That makes you want to work hard and prove yourself, because we didn't have anything. I couldn't afford a salon, so I started a little minivan, and I built up a business, and from there I bought a salon, rest is history.
And that is the sweet smell of success right here in Stafford.
Thank you very much, Max. And we're talking about right now, back to Stafford with Max, who's gone hair crazy today. And how to get the perfect bonce of hair. She's going to find out. Here we go.
Here I am in the centre of Stafford with the Francesco Group, and I've got James Earnshaw, the creative director, with me. We've been talking about how fashion really does influence hairstyles. How on earth do you keep on top of what's currently in trend?
Well, I think for me as a hairdresser, I mean, since I've been young, I've always loved fashion and I've always naturally looked at it, and I think a lot of hairdressers do. But I think nowadays, with obviously the internet, with social media, with obviously everyone looking at the TV, it's so readily in front of us. I think for me, I look obviously to the runway and I look at London Fashion Week, but I also look at kind of celebrities and think, okay, well, I can see kind of little influences from both of them, and how can I make that my own style, and how can I kind of tailor-make that for my clients or models that I'm working on.
How do you look at, say, if there's a colour that's currently in trend in terms of clothing items, how does that translate to what you do with your hair?
Well, for example, looking at like the runway, if a jacket is more structured and stronger and more kind of glossy kind of finish to it, hair does go the same way. It has more structure, it has more vibrancy. One of the biggest trends that we've seen for the last few kind of seasons is reference from the 60s and 70s. So a lot more volume on the crown, more kind of flicks, more waves, but again, more up to date with kind of more of an undone feel, so a lot more softer. And I think that is mainly because of people kind of want their hair to be a little bit more lower maintenance.
Now, talking of the 60s, my mum is a 60s child, and she's struggling at the moment with her own hair because she says that as she's getting a little bit older, that the tone of her skin has become paler. She's naturally got quite dark hair. As you get older, should we go lighter with our hair colours? What should we be doing?
I mean, to me as a hairdresser, I mean, I've kind of almost said there's kind of no rules. I think gone are the days where it's like, oh, okay, you're past a certain age, you need to chop all your hair off, you need to leave it go grey. I think we can almost, it's down to the individual and it's down to their personality, it's down to their lifestyle, but I think it's almost about taking that little bit of influence from celebrities still, people like Helen Mirren. She looks great because she enhances what she's got. It's still natural, it's not overdone, but it works for her. And I think it depends on your hair type. If your hair is going that little bit more coarser, there's so many great products out there that will help to smooth that and give it that younger feel for you. If your hair is kind of finer and kind of lacks that volume that you've had, again, there's taking your hair that little bit more shorter, injecting that little bit of colour into your hair. It's amazing the lift and difference it can give, but it doesn't have to be high maintenance or a complete change, but just tweaking it, making it that little bit more kind of younger will completely transform you.
I mean, it makes me laugh that you're sort of saying all those things, because growing up with I was always led to believe that once you got to sort of the age of 50, your hair had to become quite short, almost cropped, or in a bun. There was nothing in between.
Yeah, it's completely moved on from that. I mean, I work with a complete age range. It's not a set age range for me. I work for kind of models that are 17, 18, and I have clients in the salon that are 60 plus. I kind of do it all. And I still take references from the catwalk, no matter what age I'm doing. If it's just a certain haircut where you're just enhancing it with a little bit more texture, a little bit of a new product, that again makes it look younger and fresher, I think it's kind of gone away with that. And that's what I love about hairdressing. There's just kind of no rule, and it's just personal choice.
I think for ladies that are maybe my mum's age, it's quite ingrained in them to sort of go with that set hairstyle that they might have had. How would you coax them, or how would you help them maybe experience or try something new?
Well, I think a perfect example of this is my mum. She is in her 60s and she was completely the same. 10 years ago, she looked older than what she did now, I really believe. She had no hair colour in her hair, completely natural. and now she's got a little bit more length to it, so I've actually made her grow it a little bit longer, which maybe contradicts what people would think. And she's got a little bit more vibrancy with the colour. It's more of a red tone, and it's unbelievable the amount of comments she gets from people. And I think it's just about getting them to trust you, and I think if you can tell them that you can make them feel better about themselves, make them look younger.
So it's not just a haircut, really. It's a life changer.
Lifestyle change, definitely.
Hey, thank you very much, Max and the gang there at the hairdressers. And we're in Stafford Hall this week, back there tomorrow afternoon. All right. BBC